Hey there Internet, Keav here and welcome to the Cars of Keav YouTube channel. In this video we're going over the MaxShine Snowmaster foam cannon. Now I just did the review on the Atoms, and if you've watched that video you might see some similarities. This looks really similar to the Atoms. The boxes were the exact same, just obviously different graphics. The way they folded, the way they styrofoam, the way they held the bottle in, the way they held this in. Exactly the same. So I got a feeling they're coming from the same manufacturing facility in China. The caps are pretty close. This one's much smaller, but the design and overall structure is the same. Like I said, the thread is just smaller on this. The bottles, the Atoms is a little bit bigger. This one's a little bit wider at the bottom, but it does come back in just like the Atoms does. The nozzle, they flip the colors. Atoms is black here, red here, slightly different shape here. They both have the big top, but this one has a different shape as well. This has more of the manifold like the Chemical guys as well, so there are some differences too. The bottle balances really well. Ergonomically, I like the Atoms better because this one right here is really fat at the bottom, and it goes to this really small neck really quick. Well, it's not small neck, but smaller compared to the bottle. So when you put your fingers there, I mean, the bottle really protrudes into your hand, and it's just, you really don't have, you can grip it, right? But if it's full and weighted down, you really don't have a lot of control. It's definitely not great ergonomics, but obviously better than just a plain bottle. This one does not have the dual cap, and this is a smaller one than the Atoms. This is about the same size as the Chemical guys. This fits on the Chemical guys bottle, but the Chemical guys top has much more threads than this does, so it doesn't go all the way down the bottle. The Chemical guys top does screw down to this. It has a flexible tube, but it's the much larger one. It does go together pretty good. It screws down real well. Good threading. Obviously the manifold's made of brass. It's got that satiny powdery finish just like the Chemical guys and even the PF22.2. The knob on top is different than most. It is the taller kind. It doesn't hurt your hand, but the little grooves are only halfway down at the bottom. And then it has this really wide top, so it actually fits the contours of your fingers really well. I really like that. Has a nice quick disconnect with the O-ring. Most all of the ones that are out nowadays do. You're able to screw it in and tighten it down by hand, and it seals really well. Comes with a 1.25 orifice. Does have a capacity of 1250 milliliters if you were to fill it up to the absolute top to where you can put the cap on. It has markings, really good markings, the same exact font, everything as the Atoms. So like I said, it's probably from the same facility. I don't know if you can see that with the sunlight, but you have your ounces and your milliliters with great markings up and down, 1,000 milliliters right to the bottom of this neck. You do have the ability to go vertical and horizontal and change your spray pattern, but it's fluid. Like, it takes a little effort to move it, which is good, because once you set your spray pattern, most people keep the same spray pattern. Some people like it really wide, some people like it more narrow. I like it more narrow. You get more foam when it's narrow because hitting the car, creating that agitation. Overall, it's a really good foam can. My problem is it's in the $69 range at 70 bucks. The Atoms is right at $70, but it has a dual threaded cap. Its bottle is definitely better ergonomically, and it is stainless steel. This is brass. It does have a stamped brass. It's really nice like the Chemical guys. So here's our orifice finder 9000, the 1.25. We'll stick it through. As you can see, it doesn't go all the way through. So just like the Atoms, this is not a 1.1, but it's truly not a 1.25. Like I said before in the Atoms, I think it's between 1.15 and 1.2. The 1.1, it goes through all the way through with no issue. Now I'm saying it's not a true 1.25 is tons of other foam cannons. This fits perfect. This 1.25, you hear it. It goes all the way through, but it makes it through because the tolerance is exactly 1.25. So as always with every review, we use a 10-to-1 dilution ratio of Gtechniq W4 citrus foam. It's a great control. So I want to go over again how I rate foam. I do it by how thick it can be laid down. Now, a lot of people have mentioned in comments, and some people are offended the way I do it because they believe that the soap is better at a different consistency, and that may be true. The reason I judge thickness is because I'm using the same dilution ratio and the same soap in every single foam cannon. So the thicker the foam is, the more efficient the unit is at creating foam. This allows you to dial your soap further down and use less soap to get the foam you want. If you want thicker foam, you can add soap. If you want less, you can take some away. But the ones that are highly rated are the most efficient at making foam, will save you money in the end. That's why some of those ones that do really well, like the MJJC, are worth the money just for the foam alone. So the sun right now is very harsh. We usually don't film from this side of the car, but the other side is just too much reflection. There are bugs everywhere. I can't wait till we get in that garage. But this is, like I said, the 10-to-1 Gtechniq W4. This is the 1.25 from the active pressure washer, obviously, all the way to max foam. That's some pretty good foam. Now with a 1.25 or just about any foam cannon, run it in active, which is 2.0 GPM, you're going to get some pretty thick foam. You can't run a 1.1, so let's bring you in close to show the front half with this. Then we'll move on to using a 1.1 on a Greenworks. Now if you notice, I adjusted the fan on that. It was slightly narrower and you can see how it got a little bit thicker. But just like the Adams, this consistency comes out pretty thick and then it dwells really well. You see it's over there, it's moving down. This is pretty good. Alright, so we've moved on to the 1.1 orifice. We're hooked up to the Greenworks pressure washer. Let's see how well it does. Well, there's something different between the 1.1 and this and the Adams. This is the exact same orifice that I used in both. This is nowhere near the thickness that the Adams had. I mean, it's still good enough, it still drains, it's decent foam, but it's gonna take you a lot of soap to get a lot of thickness. So as you can see up close, it just wasn't the thickness, especially if you watch the Adams video. The thickness was good with the 1.25 on the active pressure washer. Now the Adams, which like I said was very comparable, looked like they were made maybe in the same facility, sharing a lot of traits. The Adams on the 1.25 did pretty well, but the 1.1 foamed it almost just as good. Something happened here, I don't know what the difference is. Maybe the Adams has a little bit better foam filter in there. Or a different design on the inside of the nozzle. We forgot to show earlier leakage. It doesn't leak at all from the top if you're just like this, but just like the other ones, if you shake it a little bit, water will start coming out of all of the orifices. But that's normal, so it doesn't get dinged too much for that. The weight was about 20.9 ounces, which is decent territory, definitely much lighter than the Adams. Like I said, the bottles are different, the caps are different. The Adams is much bigger all around here. That's where a lot of that weight's coming from. So for the Keav score, the MaxShine Snowmaster comes in with a score of 72.0. Pretty good. That's 0.1 behind the MJJC Pro version 1, which is actually discontinued. This puts it in 7th place, but it's actually 6th because the version 1 isn't available anymore. It puts it just ahead of the chemical guys. The price hurts the chemical guys and a few other things as well. A few things help this, a few things hurt this. Kind of the middle of the pack, I would give this rating.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change.
So in the description below will be links to the videos for all the foam cannons, the Amazon links, the score that they got, and their ranking, so you can kind of see. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. MaxShine, so, but the little But oh my gosh, the 1.1 goes right through with the 1.1 goes right through. The 1.1 goes right through. Oh my gosh, the 1.1 goes right. Oh my gosh, this goes. Oh my gosh. So I want to because I got some comments. Oh my gosh. God, this sun sucks right now. Oh, this thing shakes and vibrates horribly.